behind every strong community is someone willing to build. Hello, and welcome to Thriving at Altitude. I'm your host, Dave Donahue. Join me high in the Rockies as we explore conversations with entrepreneurs, community leaders, and local business owners who are building, growing, and thriving right here at Altitude. Welcome to Thriving at Altitude. Today we have Cristian Basso. He is a fellow musician. Yep. He is a senior consultant at a sustainable energy industry position, and also a landscape architect.
That's right.
Thanks for being here today, Cristian.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to have you.
Yeah.
What was the original reason of coming to the Vail Valley for you?
Originally, I was interested in a design firm that was located in Colorado. And at the time, I was living in Vermont after grad school. And a buddy of mine who I went to grad school with hooked up with that firm and said, Cristian, you have to come out here and check out Design Workshop. It's a great company to work for. At that time, it was perfect timing for me. And, the rest is history. Came out here, had the choice of working in Vail or Aspen.
Yep.
And I selected Vail, and this is back in 97.
All right.
Yeah. So that was the reason I came out here. And I thought I'd be here for a couple of years, but here I am almost 30 years later.
Wow. That's amazing. Cool. When did you first realize landscape architecture and sustainable design was your mission?
That's an interesting one because it's I would say very early on in life, I wanted to work within the living, the living conditions, the living. I wanted to design with living material. I love the plants, the ecologies were really interesting to me as a kid. But it wasn't until college that I understood even what landscape architecture was. And I was introduced to a dean at Temple University in Philadelphia, John Collins, who was like, Cristian, you're cut out to do this. Why don't you check this out for a major? And I did. And it was there I started pursuing ecology in the urban environment and was very interested in renewables at the same time. But that was such a specialty focus that it was always on the periphery until grad school. And then in grad school, I pursued landscape architecture master's degree, but also got into more of the renewable energies. But it wasn't until I started my own firm, Colorado Land Art Studio, or Colas Design, that I was able to merge the two. And the Valley has been a perfect fit for that for me, because from a building regulation standpoint, not only are you, the landscape architect, responsible for design of that particular client's environment, but also the community environment around it. So there was lots of natural features that had to be considered, but also from an energy standpoint, we work with offsetting energy. How? Well, with solar or battery storage. So, I would say about 14 years ago, I merged the two professions under my umbrella, and today it's one of these things that we work on landscape architecture and the exterior environment, but also solar and battery storage from a residential, commercial, or utility scale standpoint. So it's really grown.
Great. And that doesn't just mean lighting in the yard. That means so many other things.
So many other things. If you're in Eagle County, for instance, there's fees associated with what is considered wasteful energy, like snow melt systems, which are important in our environment. We have an extreme winter. There's ice all over the place. People need snow melt to maintain a safety level. But at the same time, from an energy standpoint, it's really wasteful. So Eagle County has decided to have a checks and balance system within their building code, which allows for that type of energy to be offset with renewable energy.
Okay.
So therefore,
Right.
you can balance the fee or get rid of the fee and install the solar or battery system at your property.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
And the offset aspect of it, pretty complicated? Or is it as easy as you bring in this much wattage, you get to get a break off your electrical bill?
It's from an Eagle County standpoint, they actually construct a exterior energy offset program worksheet. So it's a
Okay.
spreadsheet that really turns different energy units into understandable offset limits. So BTUs of gas
Mm-hmm.
compared to kilowatt hours of solar production or kilowatt size of batteries. So all those units are weighed, and as regulators, they have the opportunity to implement these systems via these spreadsheets. And relatively easy
Okay.
is the bottom,
You put 4 big panels on a
bottom
roof.
line.
You got a snow melt system that might take care of it for part of the year. It's probably not that easy of an equation.
It's not quite that
Right,
easy.
no.
But I mean, it's more of a square footage takeoff
Okay.
from snow melt, for instance. If you're using snow melt, you start with the square footage that you want. You get 200 square feet that's exempt. And then the rest of that square footage in this spreadsheet is given a offset number for solar kilowatts. So
Got it.
that's how a company like me would not only do this worksheet for you,
Mm-hmm.
but do your design, include your snow melt, and then also it's a one-stop shop. You can come and have a certified solar design, and a battery storage is now also an offset component within this program. So we can do it all for you, and
Great.
hopefully save you a little money, but also really emphasize the importance of our living systems around us, and that we're all in it together, and we're doing our best to try to maintain a healthy living environment in the valley.
Great. You mentioned maintain there. I was also thinking in terms of maintenance, life of products, end of life of products. Have they changed over time? Have they gotten more efficient, easier to work with, longer lasting?
Yeah, all the above, really.
Yeah.
It changes quickly, technology that is,
Hmm.
but the wattage class in the solar panels continuously grow every year, maybe 5 watts a year, depending on what kind of panel you're going for. There's new technologies like bifacial solar panels that not only absorb sunlight from the top, but also the reflected light from the bottom, and increase solar power generation over the annual cycle by 12 to 15% is a
Cool.
pretty good average. But yeah, the technology constantly changes.
Fancy.
Fancy.
The reflecting capture.
Oh, the bifacial.
Yeah, that
Yes.
seems really interesting to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works really well in snowy conditions. Like you think about
Of
ground
course.
mount systems,
Yeah.
and they're in a field, and if there's snow behind them, bifacial might be a great product for you. Ballasted systems on rooftops with white, roof membrane might
Okay.
be a really good. That might be a really good alternative to consider.
Because that 12 to 15% is going to add up and be
It really adds up.
something
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're, worried about your ROI. We
Yeah.
have clients that really, want to invest and see their return. And then we have clients that really want to do the right thing for the environment, And then we have clients that want to do both, but we'll work with you and your energy goals to be able to sort all of that out.
Great. And that's Colas. And that's how do they find you for Colas?
Yeah, you can go to colasdesign.com.
Great.
That's the easiest way, and that's COLAS design.
Great. We'll put that up on the screen for our audience for sure.
Yeah. And I work with SunSense Solar.
Great. Segue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's really what you want to do. You want to look for SunSense.
Okay.
And I'm the Eagle County rep. So
great.
Anything in Eagle County comes to me, whether it's commercial, residential, utility, scale, microgrids. That's a huge push these days that we're really excited about and have a lot of these projects under our belt. So the phone's ringing pretty hard in regards to helping people with microgrids.
Oh, that's great. I want to come back to microgrids a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
When did you first start riding this solar coaster? And what has your experience at SunSense kind of led you to now?
Yeah. I guess I was dabbling with it in grad school at Harvard and just getting acquainted with the idea of what solar power generation was.
Yep.
At that time, batteries weren't a really big thing yet. There was a lot of progress in the development thereof, and usually for specialty projects, government space projects, that type of thing.
Okay.
But, within the last 15 years, it's really taken off from an energy storage standpoint. So, I joined the solar coaster, which is our favorite term of, in sales especially, depending on who's in, office.
Right.
You may have credits available for taxes. You may not. Local incentives are great. Holy Cross is a great partner in this venture and provide incentives for their customers should they want to go solar or install energy storage. So I would say back in grad school, I was dabbling with it, but it was probably 15 years ago that I started getting really serious about it. I went to Solar Energy International, which is a great training facility in Paonia. A lot of great pioneers of solar and energy storage, stem from that organization. Training on a global level, shops in Dubai, you name it. And really interesting group of people to be trained by. So I've gotten my certification in not only photovoltaics, but in energy storage, grid tied as well as off grid, and more recently as a professional development, the microgrid training.
Yeah, tell us about microgrids. What is that? How does it work?
Depending on who you ask, you might get a different answer. But,
okay.
In a nutshell, even a residential property that has solar photovoltaic annual power generation and a battery storage is considered a microgrid to some people.
Okay.
When I say microgrid, I'm looking at it from a slightly larger context.
Okay.
So we might be looking at complexes of structures that want to be grid tied, that also want to be part of a common solar array that's producing power, solar power generation. But if grid power goes down, they have the ability to use the energy that's stored in really large batteries.
Right.
So we're not talking about Tesla power walls, which are 13.5 kilowatt hours, but we're talking about large batteries that might be 3,500 kilowatt hours.
Industrial strength type stuff for
large,
more than just residential too, probably all kinds of other applications.
For microgrids.
For microgrids.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
these batteries are stored outside. One of our manufacturers that we're exclusive with has climate conditioned battery enclosures, so they actually can be located outside. Whereas these Tesla batteries or most other lithium-ion batteries, I should say, have to be in some type of climate-controlled garage.
Some other structure.
Yeah. You really don't want them, below 40 degrees. That's pushing it.
Okay.
You don't put them out on the outside of your home like you see in California and other environments. It's just too cold and the chemistries won't hold and your warranty will be.
Then you need another structure
no
that
good.
needs its own climatized setup. So that doesn't make sense. If you have something that needs energy too much, then it kind of wouldn't make sense to me, I guess, right?
Well, it does if the inverters are actually the warming mechanism.
Ah.
So,
Okay.
yes, you do need power for this, but
Right.
you're also being smart about how your enclosures are designed. You can do this custom-wise, like kind of your thought process was taking you, but a lot of people have figured this out already. And as a result, use the components within to actually heat the battery cells and keep everything at a climate-controlled
For some
place.
reason, the Scandinavians come to mind. Is it something they're good at, or the Northern European countries? I wonder.
As far as the vendors that we use ELM a lot, which is a great company that has a track record of success. 15 years of battery data is a lot these days. So we're seeing our warranties jump from that 5-year car battery to 7 years, and then all of a sudden these batteries for the house are 10. These larger batteries are up to 15 and 20 years now.
Okay. Wow, that's great, because that saves so much in terms of cost and something will change in 20 years, but that's a great amount of time for.
It might, and just to see the D rate that has been recorded as a result of the length of time the vendor's been in business is huge, because it lowers the risk for everybody, the clients, the contractor as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. I did not know anything about microgrids. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, that was just the tip of the iceberg, but yeah.
Great. Give us the backstory. You did already a little bit of Colas and when you started kind of melding landscape and sustainable and renewables.
Yeah, that was here in Colorado.
Great.
I'm based in Eagle, Colorado.
Great.
I've been, a resident of the Valley for almost 30 years. So starting in Vail and moving to Minturn, meeting some great friends there, moving to Eagle.
I moved here when you were in Minturn, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Around 2006.
Yeah.
I remember a couple events that were in Minturn that you maybe even a party at your house.
Absolutely.
Birthday party, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's lots of parties for sure. Minturn's great that way.
Yeah.
I moved down the Eagle in 2001 actually.
Okay.
And all my friends thought I was crazy. I was moving to another state, and it's like, no, I want a single family home. I love gardening. I love having my own space. I have my own music studio. I have my office. Like all the above, it checked off all these boxes on my to-do list. So I migrated down Valley then, and
you were ahead of the curve.
Little bit ahead of the curve, yeah.
Great.
I mean, a lot of my friends, followed, about the time that you moved here.
Yeah.
A lot of people were moving down Valley just because it was, it's warmer. There's a longer growing season. Schools are great. The community's great. You're close to the resorts still.
Yeah.
At that time, a little more affordable as well. But really, the community drive brought me there. it seems to be like found a lot of my peeps in Eagle.
Yeah, there's a good community.
Yeah,
in Eagle for sure.
yeah. But yeah, that was kind of a sidetrack. But I started Colorado Land Art Studio in 2001.
Oh,
yeah, so that's been around for a while now, and
Great.
I immediately focused on exterior design of residential homes and multifamily homes. So worked with a lot of HOAs in the area, and then as soon as I saw the trend from a regulation standpoint of being able to integrate solar and batteries into the designs of these homes that I was performing, it really became apparent to me that that was a convenience that I could offer my clients. And to my knowledge, I was the first person in this valley to actually merge the two, landscape architecture and renewable energies.
Yeah.
And as a result, have really maintained a high bar for customer service and the knowledge that it takes to be able to serve your customers in both professions.
You brought it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a bigger vision, like I said, in grad school, but it wasn't until I moved to Colorado that
You
I
got to
realized
apply it.
that. Yeah.
Put the boots on the ground.
Yeah. How do you do it? I
Right.
mean, it's one thing to want to do it, but how do you do it? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm looking forward to looking at some of those designs on the websites and checking out what you've been doing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about some music stuff.
All right. All right. Thank
Cristian has a band here in the area. I want to say local, but at the same time, it's grown. So it's beyond local now.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Babaux and the Peacemakers.
Babaux and the Peacemakers.
That's great.
Yeah.
What was your background in music, and what was who are some of the artists that influenced you originally?
Wow. I think one of my first concerts as a kid growing up in Virginia was Patti LaBelle.
Oh, no
And,
way.
yeah, my parents would take me to that. And, that was just probably the first exposure to funk music, too.
Okay.
Because when you think about Patti LaBelle's band back in the day, you're talking about Leo Nocentelli of the Meters.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, a great segue for me because when I came to Colorado, I met a lot of friends in Minturn and we formed a band called Little Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
And Little Hercules was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And, what a great band and great bunch of people forming, something really special. And as a result, we were exposed to a lot of traveling musicians that would come through Gartens and, we just would do anything to be a part of that. We'd say, hey, you can use our equipment. You can,
Right.
we'll follow you to the next town. And, you can use our equipment if we can open up. And, we started doing those types of deals with bands like Liquid Soul, out of Chicago, acid jazz band that it was phenomenal to this day. They're still around.
Great.
But became good friends with them. And also State Bridge when that was going.
Oh, yeah.
One of my heroes, musical heroes, was playing there, and I was like, I have to get on this bill with our band because Leo Nocentelli of the Meters is sorry, Leo, it's Nocentelli.
Nocentelli.
But he was opening up and caught our act. Invited us to do some touring with him, and then eventually, as a bass player, said, "Hey, Cristian, would you want to come, and go on some tours with me?" And I was flattered. He explained to me that funk isn't something you learn, it's something that you have, and like it's a feel thing. And he believed in that in my playing at that time, so I was really excited. And so I got to live out some of my, dreams, so to speak. But, that was, back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm focusing on the Dobro, the resonator guitar, with Babaux and the Peacemakers, with my band out of Denver. We have 3 records out. Very, very happy to say we're number 1 in Colorado right now for our record on the radio. We do these radio campaigns. I've always been intrigued with how to do that, and how do you get on the radio? How do you get DJs to spin your music?
Sure.
Is it the payola thing all the time? And with independent music, it's not.
Right.
But it is a lot of work. So I've been fine tuning that skill to like get the music to those people that are most interested in the type of music that we're doing, which is roots rock. So that's the first hurdle. Like if I send it to a funk DJ, you'd be like, eh.
Right.
But,
well,
you never know. But, just tailoring your market.
Cool.
And, so I continue to write. One of my favorite things to do is just that. Write songs, present them to the band, and see what kind of magic they have to bring to it. And that's probably one of my favorite parts of being in a band is that everybody has their own gift. An idea is only an idea until everybody gets their mind wrapped around it.
Yeah.
And that's when the magic happens. I love that. That's just a great thing. And I like mixing it up with different people too. This band is a 4-piece right now, but we've invited other musicians into the recording sessions to get their influence, to kind of pick and choose what direction we want to go in from a sonic standpoint.
Cool.
As well. Yeah.
That's great. I have a memory of 8150 back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it was Little Hercules.
Okay.
And that was really fun.
Okay.
And that's a venue that's long gone. But so much has happened over time, and it's great that you're doing the Peacemakers and things are going so well.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for the involvement in back to Sunsense and Colas? What are the sort of plans in the short term, midterm, long term plans?
Yeah, back to business, huh?
Well, finish with music. Yeah.
Excellent. Because music is a business too, in a way.
Right, sure.
But yeah, they're all creative fields. That's a beauty. Like I wake up and look in the mirror and say, I'm so blessed to be able to be in creative fields. Because that's what I really love doing. Whether it be music, renewables, design of the exterior space.
Yep.
The Colas and Sunsense niche is growing exponentially through specifically the microgrid standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the designs that are coming in now are on another level that we've ever seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really pushing the envelope of the technologies as well as what code allows. It's really big. It's nice to be part of a greater industry, like our partners at Amicus. Sunsense is part of Amicus, which is a buying collaborative, but a national buying collaborative that we also can pick up the phone and talk to someone in New York about, how they're handling a certain situation, or are we safe harboring certain brands because we have a clue of what might happen in the future. Mm-hmm. So we're going to continue to keep our fingers on the pulse, so to speak, of this solar coaster so that we can plan ahead so that we do have components to install when we have the clients that need them. And that's not always such an easy thing. It's not like going to a big box store and say, I want one of those and two of those. These are like very specialty items that have long lead times, that lots of planning and design is put in ahead of time if you're doing it right. Right. So that you can work closely with your general contractor and keep the whole team moving. So I stress communication is utmost important with all my clients, with all the general contractors we work with. Yep. The fact that they want to get involved early on in the process, let's say pre-build, is a godsend.
Yeah.
when you get a general contractor that understands that, because of lead times, because of approval process that takes a long time as well.
Yep.
So I really see, this continuing at a pretty good clip in the future. But I think we're going to see a lot more energy storage, even if you don't have solar. So we're continuing our expertise in the solar and battery storage portions of what we do. We are electric, right?
Yeah.
So we don't do the thermal stuff, but we are solar electric and energy storage.
What's your thought on the other renewable sources of energy, whether it's wind or hydro or geothermal seems to be a buzzword now. So much happening with just having the Earth being 10 degrees variant 200 feet down can maybe one day, if the infrastructure is correct, take care of a lot of energy needs globally. As long as the sun's shining, you have the sun, but you also have, geothermal. And have you worked with any of that technology yet, or what's your opinion on that?
Absolutely. Yes, we have. Personally, I've worked with wind. I used to be in wind for turbines, not only larger turbines that are something you might see in Wyoming or on the Front Range, but single axis wind turbines that in some areas were approved for residential use. I found that technology at the time to be frustrating because the inverters would burn out all the time.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that is a negative towards the industry whatsoever, because I'm in favor of anything alternative, to be honest. It doesn't have to be energy. It's just like the alternative thinking, think outside the box, make things happen, create things, refine them. So the wind was one thing, but it's a very particular product that you need an environment for.
Right.
So I found myself going to Cheyenne, Wyoming, or somewhere in Wyoming a lot. You don't use that type of technology in the mountains. The winds are too turbulent. You need a consistent wind for it to be a really productive product. Right. So I was living in Eagle. So I was like, you know what? I'm going more towards solar and energy storage because of where I live. And this is my community. This is who I want to assist.
Great.
So I could stay local.
Yep.
And then geothermal, you see some of these projects coming up as a landscape architect. There's a lot of kicking the tires on geothermal around. Some very successful. Some are very expensive.
I was going to say a lot of cost up front.
Yeah.
You won't see your ROI for a long time, probably.
Yeah, I haven't priced out geothermal that way. I just knew at one time the heat exchange was a factor that, I could look at and say solar is great. Relative to that.
Got it.
But, hey, if you have the right environment, you have some thermals below that you can tap into. It all comes down to the designers and the engineers that you're working with, in my opinion. So I'm in favor of that if you can use it. And I think it's part of a greater vision.
A bigger discussion, a bigger dialogue.
Well, I think that the geothermal, the wind, the solar, the hydro, all have a place. And it depends where you are and where your product or project is located, right?
Right.
So you may have, better use for one of those industries than you would another. Just based on location.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Question: any upcoming music events or gigs that the audience should know about?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Babaux and the Peacemakers will be in South Fork on Friday,
Oh, great.
July 3rd.
Okay.
We're at the Rio Grande Resort. Really looking forward to it. Beautiful location. Book your rooms if you haven't already. I think it might be sold out, which is kind of fun.
Great.
From an artist standpoint, just going into an environment that's ready for you.
Agreed.
We'll be, right. We'll be at Cactus Jack's on the 19th of July. It's a Sunday.
That's
by the
in
river, Evergreen.
Evergreen.
Yep.
Yep.
We'll be at the show downtown in Eagle.
Oh, great.
On Thursday, the 30th of July.
Ooh, I'm coming for that.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to have some special guests, and that's 6:30 to 8:30,
Okay.
something like
Yep.
that. 6 to 8:30.
Yep. Was just there this weekend. Saw Motet for the Flight Days.
Oh yeah,
That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'll come see you guys in
Please,
Town Park
thank
for
you.
sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we're working on another record right now. So
You read my mind.
really excited about that. I'm about 10 songs into it and weeding them out before sharing them with the band and
Cool.
seeing what they think. I like throwing them all out there, and then we can refine the ones that we want to keep and work together on.
Was
the
Lucky
idea.
13 the first album?
It was, yeah.
Okay, Lucky
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Keep Both Hands on the Wheel.
That is the latest.
The latest album.
The third, yes.
What was the second album?
Moments in Time.
Moments in Time. Okay.
Yeah.
And then third album, Keep Both Hands on the Wheel.
Yeah.
And unnamed, soon to be
Yeah,
completed
we
at
haven't
some
got-
point.
Well, usually that title
Fourth.
is something that comes last, in
Of
my
course.
book.
I agree with that.
You
You're
know?
driving, or you wake up or you're in the shower, or something pops in there.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I like to see how the songs evolve too, so that we, kind of make the magic together, and sometimes just along, the process, these ideas come into your head. So I really look forward to that. Love the recording process and the mastering and
Yeah.
then distribution.
I didn't ask you about the Funk Bunker yet on this podcast, but tell us a little bit about the Funk Bunker.
The bunker.
Yeah.
That's where all the demos are made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's in my basement, dubbed the Funk Bunker.
Great.
Always a cool 10 to 15 degrees cooler down there.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a demo studio. Usually do a lot of solo recording and put things together, kind of crafting, depending on what is moving to me at the time. Sometimes the music comes first, sometimes the lyrics and the music. Sometimes it's just picking up a guitar and singing and playing and seeing what comes out.
Great.
So it's a creative environment that a lot of my bandmates and friends have helped me with over the years. I think we've cranked out 15 different records with different projects of mine, and it's just seems to be a little magnet for creativity, that there's a crossroads of something special right there in that basement.
That's so awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I always had a theory, maybe call it the clean studio theory, especially if you live near or with the studio, that you can just walk into a room, everything else goes away for a minute, whatever else is happening in family or life or work.
Yeah.
Turn on a light, and it's like
Yes.
everything comes on, and you can just walk up to an instrument and just start playing.
Absolutely.
It's so important.
It's, this might be the Libra in me coming out, but I am about, the balance for real, and using the left part of my brain a lot during the day, and then crossing over to the right, and then being able to go down there and just, do your thing, like you say, like focus.
Yeah.
Like what is it
And you don't have to load in and
to do.
set up all the stuff. You can just walk in and it's like ready for you to go.
High speed,
That's a
low
power.
drag is super important.
Ooh, high speed, low drag.
Yeah, super important with that, especially when you're creating, you want it to be as easy as possible, and you don't want there to be a situation that you're like, oh, I wish that I recorded that, or
Right.
or it was difficult to record for some reason.
Yep.
So I'm set up so that you can literally go down there, turn on the power, press a couple buttons, and everything's being recorded. Whether you use it or not is one thing, but I found more times than not that that's a best route to go, because sometimes these things just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're gifted a song, just like that. And sometimes you're just like, man, this is like the 4th month I've been trying to work this thing out, and I can't get there until, you're working on something else and an idea comes. So, it's great to have that recorded so you can go back to it.
Oh, that's great.
Listen to it with different ears.
I love the discussion of going from hemisphere to hemisphere, and it's so important to have the creative outlet, along with everything else that's happening in the logical world that we all have to work on too and want to work on. But that Calgon take me away of the right brain.
Yes, that, and just design, like when you think about it, designing your own life, and being able to design it and how you're going to do it. Whether it's your garden and how it looks, or what plants you grow, or the music that you're trying to make and write. How are you gonna? What's your process to get there? How are you setting yourself up for success? Has always been on my mind. Just living in Eagle by an airport from a global standpoint is wonderful too. So having a central node of creative space that you can also do business from is always how I thought of it, and blessed to have this community be the one that is allowing that to happen even, so all of these different avenues can continue to grow in their own way.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, such a pleasure having you here today, Christian.
Thanks,
Really
Dave.
appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, we'll look for you at the gigs, and we'll check out Sunsense and Colas.
Yes.
And keep on thriving.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Great having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you have any questions about any of our guests or want to be part of the show, please email me at davedonahue@kw.com. Feel free to reach out.